The Star Wars end with the Rise of Skywalker. There's a delivery from the courier, and we see if the cat really is the dog's dinner. I'm Van Connor.
And I'm Becks Perfect, and this is OffScreen, your 7-day guide to everything movies. Boom. Hello and welcome to OffScreen. It's me, Becks Perfect here, and I'm taking the driver's seat today because, well, quite frankly, I haven't seen any movies this week.
Well, that's fine. You've had health issues. You've had a relaxing week.
Yes, I've had, semi-relaxing week. I just haven't been able to go to the screenings because I've not been very well. So the lovely Van Connor by my side, my hubby on the radio here, is taking the lead in terms of telling me everything I need to know for the movies this week, and also for you guys too. So we're going to dive straight in with a film which I'm hoping is of the same ilk in terms of its title, but actually delivers a little bit better as The Accountant did as well. So this we're talking about is The Courier.
I swear I thought you were going to go with The Transporter.
No.
Yeah.
See, the thing is that with The Accountant, I was like, terrible title, but the film's okay.
You know, are we supposed to still be getting a sequel to that at some point?
Yeah, it wasn't that good.
No, I'm sure they were on about because it made decent money. They were going to do a sequel.
Did it now?
This is not going to make any decent money.
Well, this is Olga Kurylenko,
who, incidentally, if we ever make a Donald Trump movie, which absolutely should happen after this week, she's my pick for who you cast for Melania.
Oh, yeah, that would be a good one,
Her as Melania,
actually.
Gary Busey as Trump.
Nice.
I would
like
watch
it.
that movie. Get
you
Will
should
Smith.
be a casting director.
Will Smith as Obama.
So, listen, I haven't seen Olga in many movies since The Quantum.
Since The Quantum. The one I always remember her for is The Water Diviner with Russell Crowe a few years ago.
Oh, well, you're probably the only one that remembers that.
They had a pretty nice press junket for that. I got to meet Russell Crowe. It was very lovely.
He's very funny.
He's
Russell
quite
Crowe.
a nice chap. I mean, apparently he's a bit slappy, but...
Do you know what? He's your kind of, like, fun Aussie guy. He's your Aussie lad, isn't he?
Definitely.
This film sounds horrendous. It's about a courier, but I saw the poster on the tube this morning, and I was like, when's that out? In fact, who's even heard of that?
Right, so because the publicists were pushing us hard on this one. So the idea is you've got a young witness to a crime played by Amit Shah. He is in witness protection. However, there is an assassination attempt on him. He is the only man who can testify against a ruthless crime lord, played by a one-eyed Gary Oldman. Who has filmed his entire part for this movie in 3 days in a penthouse.
I was just about to ask you,
Clearly.
Why is Gary Oldman doing this?
Right, I will explain in graphic detail. We've not got a clip because every clip for this was like an action clip, so there's no dialogue. We couldn't really make it work for radio.
That's fine, I'll
forgive you. So the idea is the courier who delivers the witness testimony recording equipment to get him to help put Gary Oldman away, happens to be like a Jason Statham level transporter type. She thwarts an assassination attempt on him. They attempt to frame her for it. She gets the witness away, and they must survive and make their way out of a car park.
Can I just ask, can nobody think of a more compelling title
than The Courier?
I mean, you don't have to kind of do the whole it does what it says on the tin thing. I'm like, get our attention, bring us into the cinema. You're telling me that it's the delivery guy that's basically going to be the crux of this movie. I think you can tell me a bit more about the plot to really get me into the cinema.
I wish I could tell you more about the plot. I mean, I actually think a better title would have been Car Park Carnage. Because, I mean, it is truly abysmal. It's a film that looks like it cost about 15 grand to make. Literally 99 minutes of Olga Kurylenko in a car park beating up faceless goons.
I've got one positive to say about it, though.
Go for it.
99 minutes.
99 minutes. They are very long, very slow. You will feel every single one of them. It's not good. It's very cheap. It's very nasty. Clearly, all the money behind the production of this went on hiring Gary Oldman for those 3 days.
Money well spent.
It's one of those that's in cinemas, but it's on Sky Cinema on the same day, and you look at the film and think, yeah, that tracks.
So is this a Sky Cinema movie?
Well, it's not. These movies are all like independently made, and then Altitude get the
acquired.
distribution, and Sky Cinema strike up a deal with them, and that's it's Signature. Sorry, in
Signature,
this case.
yeah. I mean, the thing is with something like this is who is going to watch it, or probably no one in the cinema. But actually, this could become that B-movie style cult kind of film that picks up. No, you're shaking your head at me. Okay,
just
all right.
no.
Well, sometimes, there's those B-movie gangster movies, that come out that, like We Still Kill the Old Way and all that kind of stuff that actually does have an audience.
I'm going to rock your mind.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you, no thumbs.
Sorry.
No, you get no thumbs.
I'm sorry, what?
No thumbs.
Say that again. It's Christmas.
Zero thumbs. Bar humbug. Bar humbug to you, Miss Perfect. Bar
Do you
humbug.
know what, Scrooge? I mean, give me a justification for why something doesn't warrant a single thumb.
Not one single element of this works. It is not shot well. It is badly written. It's not even particularly well acted. Everyone in it is terrible. The staging of it is poor. The action sequences don't work. At one point, there is an over-the-top money shot death sequence, which just has the worst rendering you've seen on a computer graphic this side of Milla Jovovich's 2006 vampire sci-fi epic Ultraviolet. It's genuinely, truly terrible. I wish I'd never, ever seen it. I wish I hadn't got out of bed in that morning.
Okay. Should we move on?
Yeah, let's move on to Cats that I saw the night before.
Yeah, okay. So interesting with Cats. We obviously had the internet release the trailer back in July, and people went mental about that in not a good way.
Yeah.
The screenings for this were a little bit sort of hard to come by. Nobody knew where we stood with going to watch this.
We found out 18 hours before.
Yep, and you managed to make it, and
Did I regret it? Yes.
okay, right. Tell me why.
Okay.
Well, actually, tell me what it's about, because I've never seen the stage show of this.
It's a musical about a cat who gets in with a bunch of other cats, and there's something called jellicles, and they want to go to what I think is called their version of heaven, and there's Idris Elba as McCavity, who seems to be the sort of Fagin-like figure, and then Judi Dench. I'll be really honest, I can't bloody tell you. I can give you a sampling of it, though.
What's your name?
Cat got your tongue?
Here we go!
Don't mess with the crazy cat lady.
Now it is time to make the choice.
Doesn't
Okay.
sound great, does it?
I mean, you know, there are those fans who are going to absolutely love Cats for what it is. As in, they love the stage show, they saw it all, and are thinking this is going to be the next thing. I had spoken to a couple of people who are very excited to go and see this.
Were they old ladies or gay men?
No, they were my friends.
You might have friends who are old ladies or gay men.
I do, but but they were my early 30s to mid 30s friends who have, you know, they went to the West End when they were kids, watched Cats, have a nostalgic kind of feeling towards it, and are intrigued to see what Tom Hooper has done with it. Now, what you cannot dispute is the fact that the cast is incredible for this.
Yes, they are. The cast is theoretically an incredible
Van,
cast.
you're going to have to give me something here.
Right.
I can see it on your face, but the people at home can't.
Yeah, they can't. Maybe they can hear the absolute contempt in my voice. Right, first of all, within about
I don't
5
imagine
minutes,
that this is your thing, though.
No. Actually, I love a good musical.
Oh, okay.
I do. I even enjoyed Sweeney Todd, and that was terrible. But, you know, I mean, admittedly, my favourite of all of these has actually been Rock of Ages. But, you know, that actually had dialogue in it. This doesn't. There's been
Is this just got a bit of dancing and a bit of singing?
This is just dancing and singing. This is a full-blown opera. They have made no attempt to actually adapt this as a film. They have simply shot the musical against green screens. It is an eyesore to look at. He's like being smacked in the pupils repeatedly whilst actual cats shriek in your ear.
Wait, cats with boobs.
Cats with boobs, although strangely no other genitals, as Jamie East wonderfully pointed out. It doesn't make any sense. They don't stop to let it breathe at any point. It is an assault on every shred of good taste a person could possibly have. It is, like I say, an eyesore, an ear sore, and an arse sore, because it seems to go on for bloody ever.
So how long is it?
How long is it? I'll give you the exact time.
I imagine it's like 2.5 hours long, which is why Tom Hooper only finished it like the night before.
1 hour 50. 1 hour 50.
What?
If you told me it was 15 months long, I would believe you.
I don't know what you guys think at home, but I think Van might have loved this.
It was genuinely dreadful. You know what? Again, 0 thumbs.
No. It's Christmas, Van.
No, I'm sorry. This has actually, and these are words you never thought you'd hear from me.
Ruined Christmas, hasn't
This has overtaken, this has usurped Batman vs. Superman, for me, as the worst tentpole release of this decade. Of the last 10 years, this is the worst 4-quadrant tentpole blockbuster anybody has attempted to release.
Okay, so let me just throw this out there. I did see some of the initial reviews that came out of the States, and they were mixed, okay? So some were like, this is abysmal, and some were like, I don't know what I quite watched just now, but it was a spectacle, and a spectacle in itself doesn't necessarily need to be bad, okay? So it gives you something for
spectacle should be good.
A spectacle should be good, and I think that's good wording for it. Is there any redeeming features that you can see from this movie?
If it ends. If Cats the movie were an actual cat, you'd put it in a burlap sack and drown it.
Okay.
And you'd sleep well that night.
Welcome back to OffScreen. I'm Becks Perfect.
I'm Connor. I wish I was more cheerful. I'm sorry.
Well, I would like to say we've got off to a cracking start today.
It's not a good week for cinema.
But do you know what? If we're not honest, we're not doing our job. And Van has taken the reins of going to the films this week because I've been a little bit poorly. And if you're just catching up with us now, I'm just going to round it up for you. The Courier is a no-no. 0 thumbs.
Zero
we just
thumbs.
had on that. And then we had Cats, which very much is a dog's dinner, according to Van. So I'm hoping our next movie, which is hotly anticipated, highly disguised by the PRs, like we haven't been able to know about screenings for this until recently. This is the movie that all Star Wars fans are waiting because it is the one to end the saga. This is Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.
My boy.
I have been every voice
You have ever heard inside your head.
Sounds
Again.
creepy, sounds mysterious, doesn't it? Ominous, foreboding, dark.
And again, I've gone and seen some. Well, I've read some reviews which have kind of been a bit of a mixed bag.
Okay.
I saw a fan review which gave it 5 stars. I saw a balanced kind of mediocre review of a 3-star, and that, to be honest, is where this kind of has been sitting for a lot of reviewers. So I'm hoping you're going to give this at least 1 thumb.
It is getting 1 thumb from me.
Okay.
It is getting... Well, so let's go with the plot. Because I have to do the non-spoiler version. So, and this is stuff that's in the trailer or you get from the title crawl, okay? So I'm not going to... So the idea here is that about a year after the events of The Last Jedi, there has been a mysterious message broadcast throughout the galaxy, and it is the voice of Emperor Palpatine, the supposedly dead emperor from the original trilogy. You know, Ian McDiarmid's character, who I think's first name was revealed at one point as being Shreve in the marketing. It never comes up in the film, but it's in the marketing. I just thought that was so ridiculous I had to mention it.
Okay.
Right. The idea is now, Kylo Ren is the supreme leader of the First Order. He goes out hunting...
Is he still conflicted?
Of course he's conflicted. He's Kylo Ren.
Well, Adam Driver seems to be conflicted just generally nowadays.
He's science fiction's most toxic boyfriend.
Okay.
That's, you know...
Nice analogy.
Yeah, and he goes off in search of Palpatine because he doesn't want a threat to his empire.
Okay.
In the meanwhile, Rey and the rebellion, or the resistance now, Poe, Finn, etc. They want to hunt Palpatine because he's a bad guy and a new threat.
Okay.
So everybody's searching for Palpatine. That's the plot. And in the meanwhile, there is a new fleet of super weapons, which are basically Star Destroyers with enhancements, I will simply say.
Yeah.
And a couple of new potential villains and a couple of new potential heroes along the way.
So some of the stuff that I've heard from early views of this is that it doesn't quite get to the point. It kind of takes its time. It throws it like it. First, it's
who's told you that?
Well, I was coming some of the stuff that I read. So it's trying to push the plot line along, but yet there's elements of it sort of being like overly action based, right? So it's like, what's going on with the narrative?
All narrative, no character. How about
Oh, interesting.
that? Right. It's very obvious that at some point J.J. Abrams had intended to write and direct, or at least partially write and fully direct the entire trilogy here. Because what you get, first and foremost, we have to deal with I want to say the elephant in the room. Let's call it the bantha in the room. Let's deal with the bantha in the room, which is The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Right, which is, for my money, the second best Star Wars movie.
Okay.
Genuinely, I think
Wow,
it is that.
I think you're on your own there. A lot of people didn't like it. I didn't like it.
It's that franchise's Skyfall or Dark Knight.
Okay.
And you can see the obvious comparison points, even if you
Yeah.
don't agree with it. You can see where the basis for that comparison might
Yeah.
be. This film, for the first half, would like to pretend that The Last Jedi never happened. For the second half, it goes out of its way to just aggressively contradict it.
Okay.
And I mean up to and including all of the great big plot points revealed in The Last Jedi. Everything we learned from it, contradicted. You're actually better off having not seen The Last Jedi than you are having seen it.
I remember walking out of there going, this is such a setup movie, The Last Jedi, and what I would want from this movie is to have all those questions answered.
No, it just basically goes back to the beginning of Last Jedi and does its own version, because what you get is J.J. Abrams Part 2 and J.J. Abrams Part 3 smashed into one film. And to make room for all that, what he's done is taken out all the character stuff.
Okay.
So you've got way too much movie, and unlike something like Avengers Endgame, where they just filled out the runtime, they just expanded the runtime, nope.
What is the runtime on this?
The runtime on this is a nice, tidy 2 hours, 21 minutes, which is actually one of the shorter...
Yeah, it'd be about that. Yeah,
One of the shorter ones, because I think Last Jedi was like 2.5 to 3
Yeah, it's a bit of a bum ache.
It was. Let's see. Considering how woke and startlingly, refreshingly feminist The Last Jedi was, this is counterproductive on that angle to the point of being offensive.
Do you know what? I think with The Force Awakens, we were transported back to a world that we loved. You know, the practical effects were back. We had these nostalgic characters. We had the humour on point. And we were like, J.J. Abrams has nailed this. And then we kind of go, you know, that was the Star Wars film that I wanted to see, having loved the originals. However, The Last Jedi, I was really not that impressed with. And then I would like to think that this is coming back up again, but it sounds like it's gone from good to bad to worse.
Well, for me, it went from good to great to Godfather 3.
Okay.
Yeah. And to say that Star Wars now has its own Godfather 3 is one of the most depressing sentences I've ever uttered.
Are you on your own with this thinking, though?
Nope.
Okay.
Decidedly not.
Okay.
Nope, decidedly not indeed. I took my roommate along to another screening of it last night.
Right.
And, the unfiltered rage that came out of him afterwards, it was terrific.
But what about all the fans who went to see it at the midnight screening?
Right. The buzz was not great coming out of the cinema. A lot of people were very let down. There were a couple of whiny, hyperactive kids, but other than that...
All in costumes?
Oh, actually, yes, interestingly enough. The thing I've noticed in the immediate buzz from non-film critics, from regular, ordinary people, is that there is a lot of snidey, well, this is for those people who just want to whine and fanboy all over The Last Jedi, those idiots. This is real Star Wars. You're like, no, right, it looks great, and there are some moments that are genuinely terrific. There's a couple of comedy beats that really work.
I was going to ask you what the redeeming features were.
And those are the elements that get it a thumb from me. Also, Adam Driver and Daisy Ridley, still terrific. I like John Boyega a lot in these movies as well, actually.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
However, I'm sorry, J.J. Abrams owes Kelly Marie Tran a house. Right. He has to buy her a house. But what he has done to that woman with this film is offensive.
Okay.
What he has done to little girls through the character of Rey is offensive. What he has done to the overall overarching legacy of Star Wars, he and Chris Terrio, who I'd like to remind the world...
Explain yourself.
Right,
What's he done?
He and Chris Terrio, who, remember, wrote Justice League, have written a movie so afraid of being in any way challenging or offensive to any of its supposed hardcore fan base, that what he's done is go out of his way to make a movie nobody can hate, to the extent nobody can genuinely love it. You'll be hard-pressed to like it. It is a chore. There are so many times when they think they're being clever. What they're actually just doing is recycling material. Do you remember Star Trek Into Darkness and how everyone complained that it was just all repeated lines and stuff from Wrath of Khan? Same thing. Only here, he's doing it with the entire Star Wars saga.
Okay, let me ask you this. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much of a Star Wars fan are you?
No, about an 8.
Okay, so you are a big Star Wars fan. Okay.
Not to the extent I've ever read the extended universe or anything. I own toy lightsabers.
Fine. Okay. So you're coming to this from a passion point about this this movie, right? You want to see it. There's things that you will remember. You will have pre-watched everything to kind of, make sure you're up to speed. Some people going into this cinema might not have done that, but they're up for the hype. They want to know, it's a big film. We should go and see it. Maybe I'll take the kids because, they might enjoy it. It's something that we remember kind of getting into when we were kids and stuff. That audience, how much will they enjoy it versus a mega fan?
I don't think they'll have a goddamn clue what's going on because this thing is so steeped in fan service.
Right.
This thing genuinely reads like a checklist was handed down from either a Lucasfilm or Disney executive, and they were simply told, write that movie.
Okay,
and
do you think that the problem's actually in the edit?
No, I think the problem is almost entirely in the script.
Right.
This is genuinely, as a film, at best, like I say, at best, it is a mess of a film. At worst, it is an act of cinematic cowardice. Episode 1 was a better movie than The Rise of Skywalker, and Episode 1 is one of the worst sci-fi action-adventure movies ever released.
Interesting.
I think it is the worst episode of Star Wars.
What a way to end the saga. What a shame.
Not with a bang, but with a whimper. But you know what? One thumb, because there were moments.
There is a redeeming feature, because right now we haven't had any thumbs whatsoever in this.
You know what? We'll have
some
fun. We'll have some fun in the next blog, honestly.
Okay. All right. Well, Rise of Skywalker might not be your Christmas cracker, but it certainly is that one little bit better than The Courier and Cats. So we'll be back with your top movies on TV over the Christmas period, and we hope you enjoy that a little bit more than Van enjoyed this week's movies. Okay, so I don't know about you guys, but I definitely had to go and have a quick drink to recover from Van's spitting match, should we say, with this. I mean, you're vicious.
It was just such a long, trying week.
Yeah, I know. And do you know what? Now that we're talking about movies on TV, I think that appropriately to the sentiment that you have been giving to all the movies on the big screen, the way to kick off this...
That just clicked.
Yeah, the way to kick off this segment is with this actual movie, which is brilliant. It's Scrooge, the 1951 version. It's on Channel 5 at 3:10 on Saturday.
It's the Alistair Sim one.
This
is
iconic,
the really good one.
Yeah, the nostalgic one. This, to be honest, I think if you need to get into the Christmas one, you need to kind of get into the, that kind of a Christmas Carol feel.
Exactly.
And you should always watch this. And if you haven't seen the 1951 version before, give it a whirl, give it something, a little bit of a try.
What can I put you down for?
Nothing.
You wish to be anonymous?
I wish to be left alone. Since you ask me what I wish, sir, that is my answer. I help to support the establishments I have mentioned. Those who are badly off must go there.
Many can't go there, and some would rather die.
If they would rather die, they'd better do it and decrease the surplus population. Besides, it's not my business.
Isn't it, sir?
No. It is enough for a man to understand his own business without interfering with other people's. Mine occupies me constantly. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Because Alistair Sim's so much fun.
Well, yeah, and this is the thing. I mean, I know that we want to see the BBC adaptations. How's that all going to play out? Because it's from the writer of Sherlock or something like that.
Is it Mark Gatiss?
I think I'm not quite
No.
sure. Or am I thinking about Dracula? One of the two.
That's Dracula. Yes, yeah, Dracula is Mark Gatiss. Yeah.
Yes, okay. So, there's lots of great new adaptations, but sometimes it is good to go back to the old school.
They don't make them like they used to.
No, indeed. So, getting you into that Christmas spirit, Saturday, a good afternoon film whilst you're wrapping the presents, getting yourself ready for the week ahead of turkey eating and everything else that you're doing. It's a good one to watch. Moving on quickly, though. This is for me going to give well over a 1 thumbs up.
This is Warm Hugs,
This
isn't
is
it?
Warm
Hugs, the movie.
This is one where actually I think the sequel was even better.
It was, yes. Okay, so Paddington, Channel 4, 7:15 on Sunday. Oh, how good was Paddington? We saw Paddington 2 together,
Yeah,
you
we
and
did.
I.
And do you know what? The screening had little marmalade sandwiches.
In the shape of a tube, wasn't it? Yeah. Oh, God, I remember
loved
that.
It.
So
and
many
I
selfies.
Ate
So many selfies, you and I. We did, yes.
Yeah.
So Paddington, in which Ben Whishaw plays, the iconic Paddington. He meets the Brown family, who, of course, give him his iconic name.
I'm dreadfully sorry, I don't actually know your name.
Oh, well, I've got a bear name, but it seems to be rather hard to pronounce. That's not right.
Or perhaps you'd like an English name?
An English name? Like what?
Oh, look, Henry, it's perfect.
You want to call him Ketchup?
No.
Ketchup the bear?
Paddington!
Paddington! Oh, sorry. I like it.
And it's such a great support cast. Nicole Kidman was the villain in this one.
Do you know what? The thing is with this is that the cast is like, with a great Christmas movie of sorts, you need a good, iconic British cast, and it does it so well throughout Paddington. And if you're going to put out a British movie like this, you've got to get it right. And it does it on so many levels. So if you haven't seen Paddington and you've got maybe the family are in and maybe you've got loads of kids in tow and you're thinking, what do we want to do on Sunday? 7:15 in the evening. You want to be drinking a little bit of sherry and watching Paddington.
It's a lovely Sunday night film.
Yeah, it really, really is. Monday, one of my top Christmas movies ever. And it's such a curveball. I love it.
It is,
but it
isn't
is
it?
set at Christmas. It's Gremlins on ITV at 10:45. I still get a bit scared when watching this one.
I had this conversation with Bob Mills recently.
Yeah.
He actually thought this was a genuinely terrifying film. So this is basically an inversion. This is a darker answer to the typical Spielberg movie because he produced this.
Yeah.
It's an Amblin movie. And this is, we've got the small, cuddly, creature. Everything, you don't follow the rules. It all goes wrong. And all of a sudden you get a whole army of evil ones.
Yeah.
Can I pick him up, Dad?
Sure, go ahead. Just be careful. You gotta be gentle.
I will.
I hope he's housebroken.
Oh, isn't he cute? Has it got a name, Dad?
Yeah, Mogwai.
What?
Mogwai. I don't know, it's some Chinese word. I just call him Gizmo. He seems to like it.
And the thing is that the sequel, the Gremlins 2, I laugh so much throughout that.
I prefer the sequel. I'm not going to lie. I prefer the sequel.
I mean, when you see a Gremlin singing New York, New York, you know you're in for a really fun ride.
Also, how much like the Talk Radio building is that movie?
Okay, let's not talk about that. But especially around Christmas time, I don't want to get caught up in this.
So it's 10:45 on ITV on Monday.
Yeah, now, moving on with more Christmas movies. I mean, these all fit into my kind of Christmas rundown here. The Holiday on ITV2 at 8 o'clock on Tuesday. This, you were unsure about whether or not this was a real Christmas movie.
Okay, right, okay. I've said this before recently. I will say it again. Okay, Katie Lawton made me rewatch this movie.
Yep.
She made me reassess it. She was right. I was wrong. It is a very good Christmas movie. Okay, I appreciate that the Cameron Diaz part is a lot better than the Kate Winslet part.
Yeah.
And I still think Jack Black plays this entirely wrong. But I kind of got charmed by it and won over.
You fancy Jude Law, don't you?
Yeah, who doesn't fancy Jude? The hunkiest widow daddy in the world in this movie, isn't he?
Big time.
Given that I'm in a bit of a personal crisis, and I find myself in a total stranger's home in a town that I can't actually remember the name of, and considering that you showed up and you're like insanely good looking and really drunk and probably won't remember me anyway, I'm thinking we should have sex. If you want.
Is that a trick question?
Including Cameron Diaz there. So yeah, even
There
Cameron
we
Diaz
go.
fancies him as well, obviously, even though it's implausible that Cameron Diaz would ever have to ask a man to sleep with her. So, moving on to Wednesday then. Go on, you got me.
I'm singing! Santa!
I know him!
I think you know what we're talking about, don't
Yeah,
you?
do we even need to cue it up? But it is one of two Will Ferrell films we have this week.
Oh, this is Elf, ITV2, 4:10. You are being spoiled. This is on Christmas Day.
This is on Christmas Day. I'm watching this on Christmas Day. This is my
Yeah.
Christmas Day afternoon film.
4:10. So this is after you've had your Christmas lunch,
What?
and you're
But
kind
we
of
eat later
sitting
in
down.
my
Oh
family
right,
house.
okay. We have the lunch, and then we sit down in front of the telly, and everyone passes out to a good Christmas movie.
My family usually wait until about 2 minutes before Doctor Who starts and then serve dinner, just to annoy me.
Oh.
But yeah, Will Ferrell on fine form, and of course gets to take down a mall Santa, which we've all dreamt of doing.
Yeah.
So, how old are you, son?
4.
You're a big boy. What's your name?
Paul.
And what can I get you for Christmas?
Don't tell him what you want. He's a liar.
Let the kid talk.
You disgust me. How can you live with yourself?
Just cool it, Zippy.
You sit on a throne of lies.
Look, I'm not kidding.
You're a fake.
I'm a fake?
Yes.
How'd you like to be dead? Huh? No, he's kidding.
You stink.
I think you're gonna have a good Christmas, all
You
right?
smell like beef and cheese. You don't smell like Santa.
You can't go wrong with a little bit of Elf. A modern Christmas classic, I have to say, with this. Okay, Thursday, your Boxing Day. You've had your turkey. You're in that little bit of like Christmas dinner hangover mode, and you want to go and watch a cool movie. Cool Runnings, Channel 5, 5:15 p.m. It's my husband's favourite movie of all time.
Really? It's my cousins, my twin cousins are obsessed with this film. Like, they will watch this every day for the rest of their lives if they can.
Yeah, absolutely love it.
Did you know it was based on a true story?
Yes,
I didn't.
did. Yes, I
For the
did.
longest time, I had no idea.
Jamaican bobsleigh team. Yes, I did know.
Because it sounds so ridiculous.
It does, but it also sounds so ridiculous that it could be real.
We got $9.52 from Yul Brynner. Thank you. We got $184 from Doris and me. Sanka, how did your singing on the street go?
How did it go? It went like this. Enough people say, they can't believe. Jamaica, we have a bobsled team. We have the one there is.
How much?
I made $1.16.
And apparently it was. That was all barely real.
There we go. John Candy, fine form as ever. And what an amazing, heartwarming movie to watch at the same time. So that's on your Boxing Day. And then moving on, another Will Ferrell film to finish off your Christmas week. It's Blades of Glory, film 4, 9 p.m. Who thought ice skating could be so funny?
So, Coach, I was thinking about the music for our routine.
Right. We're going to skate to one song only. Lady Hump by the Black Eyed Peas. What you gonna do with all that junk inside my trunk? I'm gonna get you drunk off my lady hump, my lovely lady hump.
I'm not skating to anything with references to lady humps. I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
No, it's not. It
gets
gross.
the people going.
It's
No, that's enough! Why do you guys keep doing that?
Who thought John Heder could be this funny? Like, he did Napoleon Dynamite, then disappeared for like 4 years, turned up in this, opposite, Will Ferrell. And by the way, Chaz Michael Michelson is figure skating.
Do you know, I think this was around that kind of heyday of Will Ferrell, so like the 2003 when Elf came out.
So, yeah.
This if you love Will Ferrell and you think, gosh, he needs to be back on our screens yet again.
Because we forget, the run went like Elf, Anchorman, Wedding Crashers, this.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a streak.
It's a run and a half, and to do it on ice in Blades of Glory is a perfect way to kind of just cement yourself in comedy history in a way. Now, this for me is such a great week of movies. If you've not got anything planned over Christmas, you're sorted.
We've spoiled them, right?
Yeah,
We've spoiled them. You are spoiled, audience.
Yeah. Well, that's your roundup of movies on TV. So I think the advice that we're going to be giving you this week is don't go to the cinema. Don't waste your money or your time. It's not worth it. Stay in, stay cozy. Hopefully it starts snowing to add to that Christmas value, because what you've got on telly is some Christmas magic. And coming out of the Christmas season, you're going to be thinking, what's 2020 going to be holding for you? Well, Van and I, we're here to actually talk about what we thought were the favourite films of 2019, which will probably gear you up for the year ahead. Am I right?
Absolutely. So, I mean, it's been an interesting year for film.
Yeah. I think it's a good year for film. I've given 1 5-star movie this year.
Yeah, what was that again? I forget.
Well, we'll come on to that in just a second.
My bad.
Yeah, I've picked out 3 movies that I absolutely love. They're all very different, but all...
Like, I'm not that discerning. I wound up with 22. Sorry.
The rule in broadcast, Van, is to keep things tight. Okay, so we don't have time for 22 movies, so you're going to have to, condense that down.
I'm sorry, I Katie priced this. That's what I did. Right. Okay. Do you want to do one? I'll do one, and we'll back and forth.
Let's
Okay.
do that.
Okay. You go first, then.
I'm going to kick off with something that came out in May. It fits on my mantelpiece of all those classic high school movies.
Yeah.
It made me laugh from start to finish. It's up there with 10 Things I Hate About You, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Superbad. It's, of course, Booksmart.
Oh, yes.
You were wondering where I was going with that.
I think because I don't think of... Because of the films you were comparing it to, I'm like, really? What movie was that like?
Yeah,
what
I
movie
like
could
the
that have
surprise.
been?
This, for me, is like a sleeper movie in some ways, because I saw it and I raved about it, but I've had friends who have messaged me and gone, do you know what? I caught it on the plane.
Yeah.
I caught it just by a chance on Sky Cinema or something like that. And they were like, wow, this movie, not only is it really fun, it appeals to such a wide audience as well. So whether or not you're in high school or however we like to call it here in the UK, or you're actually like our age and remember back to those years, it basically follows 2 girls, 2 best friends, who throughout their entire senior year have been the goody two-shoes. They've never put a foot wrong, they've worked really hard, they want to go to good colleges, and then they realise that they haven't had any fun. So the night before graduation, they completely let loose. I think there's not much more to say about it. It's brilliant. You should check it out. It was out in May. I've watched it multiple times since then.
One of I'm going to go with, and this is from the end of September, And I wish this had the same success as Booksmart.
Okay.
That this had caught on. And I have noticed that people are starting to wise to it, but it's still early days. And that is Ready or Not. Starring Samara Weaving, Adam Brody, Henry Cherney, Andy McDowell. And the general idea is it's an orphaned woman who marries into a rich family who has something of a creepy family secret that sees her getting hunted to the death on
Very
her
fun.
wedding night.
So this is like a classic, like a board game almost that plays out, and you're watching it, but you feel very much immersed in this movie at the same time. So the idea is that on her wedding night, she has to join the family. They have this like deck of cards, which essentially you pick a card and you have to do a dare. And there's one card in the entire pack
That's
that basically hiding a very nasty outcome. And of course, she ends up picking that card, and we see the whole. Yeah, exactly. We wouldn't have a movie without it, would we?
It's so grisly and nasty, but also very funny with it.
Yeah.
It's very sadistically humorous.
It's so funny. Yeah, great film to pick. Moving on to my next pick of the year. I'm moving up to, I think, July time.
Okay.
It came out, and what a summer it was for movies, and then something came along and turned it completely on its head, and that movie is Midsummer. Now, I had to put a horror in there because with the horror genre, my sentiment is that to get horror right, you have to do something different. And how different can it be than to put a horror movie out that is set completely in broad daylight? Now this, it unfolds over 2 hours, 20 minutes. You feel every single minute of that. You feel the brilliance of Florence Pugh in this movie, and also the great cast like Jack Trainor's in this, also Will Poulter. It's a movie that you think, oh, I'm going to a nice little festival, I'm watching them do this, and then it all goes horribly wrong in a way that's gruesome, it's gory, it's unnerving, it gives you like spine tingles. I had my BBC team went to go and watch this after I reviewed it. They were supposed to go and see Toy Story. For some reason, they went down they took the wrong door, watched this, and they have not stopped talking about it. They are traumatized.
It's the new Wicker Man.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go also September again.
Yeah.
And this is a movie I didn't expect much from. Loved the second I saw it, and it was, of course, Hustlers, starring Jennifer Lopez and Constance Wu as effectively war dogs with strippers.
Yes.
So it's effectively strippers who decide during the financial the collapse, the recession, they're going to start drugging and robbing their clients.
And I think we called it to say that Jennifer Lopez is probably going to pick up some awards for this, and she was nominated for a Golden Globe.
Yeah.
Her performance is one of the best that she's done in many, many years. And this is it feels like The Big Short in a way. It's really smart, it's really fast-paced, it's fun to watch, it's empowering for women.
I've just remembered what I called it.
Go on.
When I reviewed it, I called it Four Dogs.
Nice.
That was it. That was one of my best puns of the year.
I see what you did there.
Thank you.
Very, very good. Now, my top movie of the year, which the 5-star... I hope you agree with me on this, Van, but I did give this 5-star, and I still stand by it because I loved it so much. It might have been a bit of a victim of the hype machine, but Joker, for me... Oh, don't. I think... Joaquin Phoenix's performance in this is going to be the one to beat in award season.
Okay.
Really?
I don't know. I mean, the bookies at the moment are running bets on Christian Bale for Le Mans.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that's a supporting role.
Well, I would argue that Matt Damon's the supporter. But never mind. Back to Joaquin.
No, Joaquin Phoenix, the transformation is that it's things that the Academy loves,
True.
It turns the comic book genre again on its head. It doesn't give you what you expect to see. So that's why I think there might be a little bit of a divide over this. For me, who's not necessarily a comic book fan, it immersed me in a world that I could really enjoy, and also it gave me that descent into madness, that character study that made me think, goodness, this could actually happen to someone.
I liked it. I thought the hype was a little overblown. I did think the film wasn't as good as the performance.
I chucked someone out of their cinema seat because they were in my seat, and I was like, do you know what? I want the best seat to watch this in.
Do not screw with Rebecca Perfect.
No,
the cinema
absolutely
people.
Don't.
For me,
right.
I'm going the opposite end of the spectrum but I'm not going with the best film. I'm going with my favourite film of the year. Just my visceral popcorn munching favourite of the year. It's Hobbs and Shaw. I'm sorry, it is.
Wow. I mean,
you think you know a guy? I know.
Yeah.
It's Hobbs and Shaw. It's Dwayne Johnson. It's Jason Statham. It is a movie so ridiculous they had to literally give Idris Elba superpowers, and the extent of those superpowers is he's as strong as The Rock.
I love this. I love your sentiment around it when I say I love this. I mean, I enjoyed the film.
Yeah.
But wow, it's your favourite film of the year. I mean, it was fun. And do you know what? It's a great movie to go with your mates and watch and have a real laugh with. And I think as a full-on group experience, this is great. I actually thought you were going to say Knives Out.
Really?
Yeah.
It's in my top 22.
Yeah.
I can say that. But, of course, Hobbs and Shaw is not the end of the Fast and Furious series. And this
It's
is where
only the beginning.
This is where we're gonna have to move on for our last minute of the year. So let's have a talk about what's out next year, because Fast and Furious 9 is next year.
Gosh.
We're getting a trailer for that at the end of January. I think it's May we're getting that as well.
I mean, I'm really excited about a few things. It's like nostalgia for me. So we've got Top Gun Maverick coming out.
Yes.
That trailer, the new trailer that's come out, looks incredible. I want to see that on the biggest screen possible. Bill and Ted are back.
Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a summer one, isn't it?
Yeah, they've just released a few shots of Keanu Reeves and Alex Winters in character for that. I cannot wait to see that. And I'm actually starting off January. I'm really excited about 1917.
Have you not caught 1917?
No, I haven't caught that yet.
Okay,
Yeah, so it's all, the thing about that, it's a Sam Mendes film. It's set in World War I, and it's all done in one shot, or to give you the impression that it's all done in one shot.
I personally, I'm looking forward to Scoob, the new animated Scooby-Doo reboot. I'm really looking forward to Bad Boys for Life, the long-awaited Bad Boys 3.
Again, nostalgia. They're bringing him back again,
I'm trying to think of a few other things. Black Widow has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with that. Less Birds of Prey, but definitely Wonder Woman 1984. That's got badass written all over it. So much awesome to come. It's one of those where you look at the list and you just keep forgetting things. Like, oh my God, there's that to come.
I know, and that's where it's really hard to condense it down, isn't it?
One last one I'll chuck in. Ryan Reynolds in Free Guy.
Yes, the trailer for that looks hilarious.
Basically, he's a bystander in a Grand Theft Auto game.
Can that guy do any wrong? I think not.
Well, Green Lantern.
Well.
But Green Lantern, his first attempt at Deadpool.
But you know what? It's been a great year of movies, hasn't it, Van?
It has, and I've enjoyed doing this with you this year.
Off
It's been
screen.
lovely.
It's been great, and it's been nice to kind of, find our feet and become the duo that we have become on this. I think it's been really fun. So I'm going to wish you and everyone at home a very, very Christmas.
I like to think we've become the Mulder and Scully of films.
We have indeed. Good analogy. I like it.
But in the meanwhile, we're going to have to kick it off until the 10th of January, I think.
Wowzers. It's a little bit of a Christmas break. We're not used to that, but we're excited to put our feet up, watch some great movies, and we hope you guys do too. So signing off for this side of 2019 into 2020, I'm Becks Perfect.
And I've been Van Connor, and this has been Offscreen, your 7-day guide to everything movies.
Boom.